fake HOA fined me for giving out free food. The community turned it into a protest. Have you ever been punished for doing something good? In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, where tidy lawns and picket fences define normalcy, I woke up to a bright red notice taped to my front door. Cease and desist. It screamed in bold letters, accusing me of violating HOA regulations by running a free food stand in my driveway. My crime? Handing out sandwiches, fruit, and bottled water to anyone who needed it, neighbors, delivery drivers, or the homeless who wandered through. The notice demanded a $500 fine and threatened legal action. Signed at the bottom in sharp, aggressive penmanship was the name: Karen Whitaker, self-appointed HOA president. My heart sank, but anger simmered beneath. I'd started this food stand to help people, not to break rules. Why was kindness being treated like a crime? I wasn't alone in my outrage. My neighbor, Javier, a single dad who'd grabbed apples for his kids from the stand, called me that morning, fuming. "She's out of control," he said. "Karen's been terrorizing everyone, fining people for untrimmed hedges, kids' chalk drawings, even my dogs barking." I learned Karen had turned the HOA into her personal empire, wielding rules like a scepter. But this time she'd gone too far. My food stand wasn't just a table with snacks. It was a lifeline for people struggling in the wake of layoffs and rising costs. I'd seen the gratitude in their eyes: a tired mom who took a sandwich for her son, a delivery worker who hadn't eaten all day. Karen's fine wasn't just an attack on me. It was an attack on them. I decided to fight back. I posted a photo of the notice on the neighborhood's online forum, explaining the situation. "This isn't just about me," I wrote. "It's about punishing kindness." Within hours, comments flooded in. People shared their own stories of Karen's tyranny: fines for parking an extra car, demands to remove Halloween decorations, even a warning to an elderly couple for excessive bird feeders. But what shocked me most was a twist I hadn't seen coming. A user named Willow Whistleblower dropped a bombshell. Karen wasn't even the legitimate HOA president. She'd bullied her way into the role after the real president moved away, forging signatures to claim power. The revelation spread like wildfire, and suddenly, my little food stand became the spark for something bigger. The next morning, I set up the stand again, this time with a sign: "Free food for all." Defy the fake HOA. By noon, neighbors started showing up, not just to grab food, but to stand with me. Javier brought his kids, who held hand-drawn posters saying, "Food is love." Mrs. Chen, a retiree who'd been fined for her rose bushes, brought homemade dumplings to share. Even Tom, the quiet guy who usually kept to himself, showed up with a folding table to expand the setup. But Karen wasn't going to let this slide. At 2 p.m., she stormed down the street, megaphone in hand, her face twisted with rage. "This is illegal," she shrieked, ripping down my sign and kicking over a crate of apples. The crowd gasped as she tore through the stand, scattering food across the pavement. "You're all breaking the law," she yelled, waving a stack of new fine notices. The tension was electric. Javier stepped forward, his voice steady but loud. "You're the one breaking the law, Karen. We know you're not the real president." The crowd murmured, closing in. Karen's eyes widened, but she doubled down, screaming about standards and property values. That's when Mrs. Chen, all 5 feet of her, pushed through the crowd, holding up her phone. "I recorded everything," she said. "Your tantrum, your lice, all here." The twist hit Karen like a freight train. Her face paled as she realized the crowd wasn't just angry, they had evidence. A teenager in the back started chanting, "No more Karen!" And soon the whole street joined in, their voices rising in a defiant chorus. Karen's empire began to crumble. The video Mrs. Chun recorded went viral on the neighborhood forum, then spread to local news. People posted screenshots of Karen's forged HOA documents, unearthed by Willow Whistleblower, who turned out to be Tom, the quiet neighbor with a knack for digging up records. The real HOA board, dormant for years, was reinstated, and they issued a public statement. Karen had no authority, and all her fines were void. My $500 fine? Cancelled. But the community didn't stop there. The food stand became a symbol of resistance. Neighbors took turns stocking it, turning it into a full-blown community hub. We added canned goods, hygiene kits, even books for kids. Local businesses donated, and strangers drove from across town to contribute. Karen, meanwhile, vanished from the neighborhood, her house listed for sale within a week. Word spread that she'd moved to another suburb, likely to terrorize a new HOA. In the end, what started as a single act of kindness became a movement. The food stand still stands in my driveway, bigger and busier than ever, a testament to what happens when people come together. Karen thought she could bully us into submission, but she underestimated the power of a community united. We didn't just take her down, we built something better in her place. What do you think? Can one person's kindness spark a revolution? Or was Karen's downfall inevitable? Share your thoughts.